Dr. Ismail Meisami, RTRSC. He was my best friend. He was my best friend. He was my distinguished colleague, and he was a dear friend of my family, and the sweet uncle of our children, Samira and Sarah, our own embassy. As he enjoyed laughter, and he always told jokes, and he enjoyed hearing jokes. So for this occasion, I wanted to go through his emails and find a couple of jokes that is appropriate for this gathering. But unfortunately, I forgot to do it on time, and yesterday I just was thinking, and I remember two of his jokes. I'm sure most of you have received emails from SE full of jokes of all kinds of subjects. So you excuse my delivery because I'm not good at delivering jokes, but I have to start. The first joke. A husband and wife go to state or county fair, and they reach the division of animal husbandry. And they see this nice bull, and the sign next to it says, "This bull mated 50 times last year." The wife elbows the husband and says, "This is almost once a week." They go to the second bull. The sign reads, "This bull did mate 150 times. This time the wife elbows a little bit harder and says, "This is 3 times a week." So the third bull, the sign says that this bull mated 350 times. So the wife is very upset this time, elbows very hard and says, "This is almost once a day." So the poor husband says, "Would you go and ask the bull, did he did it with the same partner?" The second joke from Essie is a completely different subject. He says, "I was very depressed last night. I couldn't sleep. The problem of economy, war in Iraq, in Afghanistan, the healthcare issues, my credit card, the global warming. So I decided to call the suicide hotline, and I got connected to a desk in Pakistan. I told them I'm suicidal. They got excited. I could hear they were cheering. And then they asked me, "Can you drive a truck?" So now to some more serious stuff. Many friends and students and colleagues from the Institute of Biochemistry and Biophysics at the University of Tehran have asked me to convey their condolences to the family and friends. And they have apologized that they couldn't be here. And I just want to mention some of the names because it's important for you to hear their names, especially one. Dr. Liza Javadi, Dr. Feridur Javadi, Dr. Parviz Sabuk, Dr. Khashayar Jawahirian, Dr. Khashayar Karimian, Dr. Masood Askari, Dr. Gardib Sarkisian, Dr. Hosseini Shukrani, Dr. Tahireh Rahmani, Dr. Shafa, who had to leave earlier, and some of the students, Nahid Razi, Dr. Nahid Razi, and they really apologize that they couldn't be here. And a little bit about myself and Essie. I met Essie in 1971 at the University of Tehran. He was hired about 6 or 8 months before that. He wanted to go to the School of Medicine, but his official diploma by the University of California, Berkeley was not ready yet. So the bureaucracy of College of Medicine didn't accept it. So he got to the Department of Biology, Faculty of Science, University of Tehran. But the employment got delayed because Essie had a file. The Savak had a file on Essie. So he had to go and talk to, at that time, the Savak had filed for all the international students who were outside the country. So Essie went and talked to the chancellor of the university, and he asked him, promise not to do any political activities if you want to stay in the university. And he went, hi. He and I, when I applied for the job at the University of Tehran, I was waiting for the response of the executive committee. So one day I went to the university to see what has happened, whether I get in or not. Essie saw me and said, let's walk through the campus. So we walked through the campus, we went outside of the university, we went to Shah Reza Avenue, and we went to a pastry store next to Cinema Diamond. And we had a cup of tea and a Danish pastry, and we talked about our family, our nature of our research, what is our plan for the future of the university. And then he told me, my wife Julie is American, like yours. And she drives in Tehran.
She drives.
So I remember that day I went home and I was telling Ellen, I met this guy. His name is Essie, and I think he's going to be my good friend for life. And the rest, of course, is history. When this thing happened, I was really sad. So I didn't know what to do. So I went and wrote a few things, and I'm going to read a few paragraphs of what I felt at the time. It has been a sad week. Our friend daughter called to let my wife and me know that her father, Essie, died in Champagne. We cried on the phone. We could not control ourselves. We could not comfort Mona on the other end of the line. It's been a sad week. I prepared an email and my wife edited, and I sent it to more than 40 people, our mutual colleagues, friends, and former students. The email contained the basics: who our friend was, where he got his BA and PhD, the institution of higher learnings, where he taught, he carried out research, the laboratories he built, a mention of the numerous scientific papers and books he published, and a sample of his students' comments expressing why Essie was the greatest, the most friendly, and the most helpful professor they ever had. It has been a sad week. I cried aloud and in silence. I could not help myself. How could I not think about the loss of a man who has been my friend for more than 43 years? We participated in building a new institution together. We wrote the biology textbooks for Iranian students together. Our children grew up together. Our wives were closest friends. We witnessed a revolution together. We got Mamnoor Khuruj together. Exit prohibited. And we left our country to adopt another country together. It has been a sad week. The recipients of the sad news were calling and emailing me, expressing their shock and sorrow. I did not know how to stop thinking about Essie. I turned on my computer and loaded the chess database and started playing over the games of earlier world champions such as Botvinnik, Spassky, Bobby Fischer, the American champion, who ended the domination of the Russians. For a while, this was a good distraction. And then I remembered. At one time, when Essie was introducing me to another friend, among other things, he said, Ali also plays chess. So my thought left the chessboard and Essie appeared again. It has been a sad week. I told myself I should go to the garden and weed. Weeding has always been therapeutic for me. I don't bring a radio, an iPod, or anything to the garden. I immerse myself totally into the task of weeding and let my thoughts travel anywhere and everywhere they want to go. There are always lots of weeds in the garden: winter weeds, summer weeds, annual weeds, perennial weeds, and plants that they are not weeds, but because of being unwanted in certain places, become weed by definition. It's been a sad week. As I got busy weeding, a nagging question crept in. Why is my vocabulary so limited when it comes to consoling people in grief? Is my vocabulary really limited? Or is it that I do not want to use certain phrases? I know that I would never say, "May God bless his soul."